Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Chosen Monet. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Excuse me. Um, so I just got done doing a little bit of laundry, doing some stuff for my job, handling a little bit of business. Now my channel is all about uplifting women in general. It does not matter your age, if you're young, if you're older. It's about uplifting men too and young boys that's growing into manhood that may not have a father figure. So all of my information is based off of things that I've been through or my friends been through or child's father's been through or just an experience, a life experience that, certain people don't have friends, certain people don't have family, or let alone have good people that give you good information. So this channel is like a big sister, big homie type of channel. So like if you're tuning in, I'm dropping downloads almost every day. So it'd be really hard for you to not leave this channel being a better person. It'd be so hard for you to not leave this channel with some helpful information to help better either your relationship with your woman, with your man, with your kids, with yourself, with God, or just in the spiritual realm, being able to withstand some of the crossfires that come from narcissists and toxic people, right? Okay, so earlier I made a video on evictions. What triggered that conversation actually was the fact that um, I was responding to a comment and checked out somebody's video, and it happened to be a landlord. Not one of my landlords, just he was just organically, hypothetically speaking. He made a video about 2 years ago on evictions, and so I wanted to give my perspective from a tenant perspective instead of the landlord perspective. So if you want to check that video out, it should be below this video. Shouldn't be hard to find. Now, I want to also let young women know about being in small communities that are really toxic, cult-like communities. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody in that community is going to be the same, but believe me, if it's a community, it's normally community-based. So, pertaining to where you live at, what schools are involved, there's a community of people that want to keep their community operating in a certain way. So, depending on which community that you're in is where you're going to be led, whether to good things or to bad things, or be led to destruction, or possibly, it just all depends on what that community is bringing, right? So I'm not talking about my new community. I love my new area where I live at. I love the city. I love the area. Honestly, it's making me see Wisconsin in a different light, being that I moved out of my hometown. So I'm able to draw better knowledge now that I'm not in a community that's toxic, if that makes any sense. So this is the point about this. Now, growing up, once I hit about, I don't know what age I was, maybe like, it could have been 17. I met a girl that was not from my hometown. She was from another state and city. And I believe that was my first friend outside of my high school friends, outside of people I grew up with, outside of sisters, relatives. That was my first friend that was from, to me, a different place that I've never been. And I've always seeked more. So I was already okay with her in ways that I was not okay with old friends, being that she was something new. Seemed like she was a really healthy person, really smart girl, very wise. Now, I learned a lot of things from her, but it came with a price. So sometimes when you're around certain people, they know that you're around them for a reason, and sometimes the reason that they're around you is not the same reason that you're around them. Now, needless to say, some people, they don't want to admit that in friendships you're being used, in relationships you're being used, as a parent, as a son, as a human being. We use each other, sometimes, and sometimes it comes off bad when people become jealous of each other, but normally the deal is do to others as you would want to be done to them. So like if you are having a friend and your friend can do things for you, you're supposed to be able to reciprocate that and do things for them. So I kind of feel like also that sometimes And that's not all the time, okay? That's not all the time. Because some people are so well rounded that they don't even need a friend, and everything that they're doing is on their own. But again, I was younger, right? So when you're young, you're trying to grow up, you're trying to figure out the right ways to do it. And if you come from a toxic family dynamic, sometimes you run from your family and leech on to, just random friends or certain people that you see fit for you to be with, right? And most of the time when that happens, people sometimes can manipulate you, take advantage of you, or you can put yourself in a situation where you're being taken advantage of because you lack thereof, which is very dangerous, guys. I'm finding that I'm saying it a lot this season. Lack thereof, meaning lack thereof knowledge. So if I say lack thereof is short for lack thereof knowledge, meaning knowledge is power. Don't forget that. The more you know, the more powerful you are. It's not the more friends you have. Actually, some of the most richest people, wisest people in this world do not have a lot of friends. So basically, it's just a scenario in retro reflect. Again, this channel is optional. You do not have to trust this information. I don't want to give information for you to use in a legal manner. This is structurally for people just if they want to get my opinion on things in life, if that makes any sense. So also this channel is designed to help people, just help people live a healthy life, and not be a bad role model, and also, kind of right some of my wrongs growing up by doing the world a justice by just being a good person, because we need more ethical people, more people that is putting their self out here for the world to use. Again, it's a big pool of people pulling and tugging, and that's what it's all about. If there's no pulling and tugging and you're just at a standstill, you should be worried, for sure, because it gets lonely when you're not communicating with others and when you're not handling business and stuff like that. So anywho, this is not to tear down the young lady or to tear down myself because we were younger, but this is more to shine light on like young single parents. Say you're a young girl and you had your first kid, and before that kid's 3 or 4, you're no longer with the child's father. Now, a lot of times that happens, right? And you sometimes don't know how you feel because all you know is that you have to keep moving forward. So you don't have time to feel, you don't have time to think. And I think a lot of people misconcept that. They think that every woman that loses their child's father is somewhere grieving the loss of him. But sometimes people are just trying to still move forward with their life healthiest as possible, and no one's even thinking about that person no more. And that was morally my situation, right? But I still ran into other issues because if you lack thereof knowledge, in which I did, pertaining to my upbringing or what so forth have you, but God was not going to count me out. So in other ways, he was giving me the option to absorb knowledge, as much as possible and make a good decision for yourself based off of the facts, right? So I just want people to know that when you're a single parent, there are resources for you. So you don't never have to live in somebody's house. If you do, make sure it's short-lived. Don't tell that person when you're leaving their house. Save up money. Do not go out to the club when you are homeless. That's something that you should be doing when you're completely in order. And most young girls don't get their stuff together all the way until they're about 30. I mean, nowadays it's starting to be even longer. I mean, yeah, a young girl might end up having a house at 20 or an apartment at 20, and you can't tell her nothing. But in retro reflect, she still got 10 good years to either be stable or become unstable. And it can happen in the blink of an eye. And I know that terminology sucks for someone to say unstable, but young girls, they won't know until they go through it. So it's important to listen to this video and listen to other videos about people trying to educate you guys, taking the time out of our life, wasting our breath that we can't get back to get a message out to you, for you to reciprocate, not only for you to learn it, but to teach it, because it's each one teach one, says Denzel Washington. Remember that. And he got it from somebody else, because it is what it is. You know, this stuff been going on way before you and me, believe me. So back to the points here, guys. Don't live with people, don't stay around people that mistreat you. If people disrespect you, get away from them. I understand that it's going to be very, very hard, but I promise you, and I can reassure you, if you do not remove yourself from a toxic environment, you will crumble. Whether in physical or mentally, or publicly, or they may humiliate you. So it is very, 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 very important to stay vigilant in this journey. So that means being conscious, being aware, and understanding that you have resources. So I think I'm going to have to make a part 2, because I think one of my children just got up. So I really don't want the video to be too interrupted. But what I really wanted to say this video is look up resources in your community. And if your community is not allowing you to get those resources, because I did have a rough season where supposedly for like a few years in one community, they had no resources for me. Why my family was throwing burdens and insults and smear campaigning along with old friends, old toxic lovers family. Like, it was bad. Kids' fathers, you name it, coming from that little community, which it was not the whole community, but you might as well say it was. You have to be bigger and wiser than certain people that think that they're bigger and wiser than you. So remember, there's resources in your community as well as other communities. So say, for instance, one community, they don't have any help, try the next community over. Try the next community in the next state. Move around. Never stay nowhere too long. Don't ever get comfortable, and don't stay too long. And if you are comfortable, make sure you have your money up. Don't just be sitting here thinking that you have some type of award all the time coming, or something's gonna go good for you. Just expect bad things or less fortunate things to occur, so when they occur, it's not a big hit. The hit's not as big. Because if you properly prepare for the hit, you might have money put up. If you properly prepare for the hit, you might have extra things that you may need to survive. Now, I don't want to drop all the thoughts in these videos, but I just want to tell some girls that don't hang around that toxic friend group that's screwing your baby daddy. If anybody in your friendship decides to sleep with your child's father, you need to never ever talk to them again. If her friend is sleeping with your child's father, you need to never ever speak to that girl again. Certain people only keep you around based off of how much they can disrespect you, how much they can shame you, how much they can insult you, how high can they get off of your sadness, your depression, based off of things that they've done to you. And when you come from a family full of narcissists, it's really easy to fall into a friend group of narcissists or a relationship with a narcissist, because they treat you the same as your family treats you. Which is really hard, because say your family mistreating you, right? And of course, not the whole family, but we're going to say a generalized amount of family members. And you don't want to feel that pain. But you don't want to disrespect your family. That puts you in a bad situation to where you have to take the disrespect. You can't talk about the disrespect. You can't put the disrespect anywhere else. And energy is definitely like, you pass it. Here you go. That's why it's good to be positive, because people are already battling things in a negativity to where, like, one haystack of drama could just completely uproot the volcano of bullcrap that certain people are trying to diffuse in their life. So basically what I'm trying to say here is, don't be too hard on yourself if people don't like you. Don't be trying to say, oh, well, it can't be me if this person don't, if that person don't. It could be who you are. Most people that are chosen ones, meaning God keep pulling you out of the trenches, and you supposed to been gone and you're still here, and they all worked up against you, and you had a bad year a few years ago. You might have had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bad years, and they thought you was never going to get on your feet. You will naturally be a target just off the strength that you're somebody that they all worked up against, let alone couldn't take out. So you got to have a 007 mindset. You got to have a mindset of a sniper. Not saying to go kill nobody. No. You have to be witty with it. You have to be, your mind have to think at ability that your opposition can't. Okay? Because they already thinking one way, but you're completely not even that way. So you're already one part elevated more than them. But what brings you back down to their level is when you hang with them. When you sit around them and they're watching everything you do, learning everything you do, mimicking the things you do, copying the things you do, misconstruing the things you do, turning other people that can be a support to your journey, or you can be a support to their journey, against you. Okay, putting you in a situation where it looks bad, okay, and you have to explain yourself, which opens a door for people to think, okay, well, some of this must be truthful because this person is speaking about it, which is the total furthest from the truth. Almost makes people not even want to react. You and whatever you're talking about can get on. But needless to say, this video is to help other women and other men, especially women, but men too. You know, like mainly if you got kids and you're in high school and you're trying to find yourself. I just don't want you doing drugs. I don't want you having sex, wild sex, you know, your whole teenage years and all the way up into middle school. You might miss out on your wife. You might miss out on your husband because you didn't went to the high school and slept around with everybody. You didn't went and caught STDs. That's uncurable. And now you want some woman to love you when you're coming damaged. Most men already don't mature into 25, let alone you making bad decisions in high school, and women too. A lot of women have not been maturing until almost 40 or 50. Now they said the men mature faster than the women, but from what I've seen, I still know a few 50-year-old women right now today that is acting like a toxic 20-year-old. Lying on young women, sleeping around with men that they shouldn't be sleeping around with, causing issues in their community, but then vividly lying on certain people that have no traction of such record as the narcissistic woman or the narcissistic man. So the key things that I want you guys to take out this video is, 1, don't stay too long around people. Remove yourself. Anything people are doing toxic is to distract you from your purpose. Stay aligned with your purpose. Don't react to people. Remove yourself. If you're a young girl with kids, look up resources. If your community do not help with those resources, you look for resources in another community or in another state. What you will not do is remain in that same position. I don't care if you guys have to go do something you would never do just to get yourself back where you need to be. I'm not saying do something illegal, but I'm saying do not allow yourself to stay in that place too long. Because 1 month will turn into 2, 2 months will turn into 3, 3 months will turn into 4, which will turn into a year, turn into 2 years, turn into 3 years. If you're doing the same stuff, if you're not aware that certain people in communities team up against chosen ones, or certain people that's less fortunate, certain people that will complain instead of just take it. Which honestly, if you're complaining instead of taking it, certain times that means that you stand for something. Because if you didn't stand for something, whatever they give you, you will take it. You know the old saying, stand for something or fall for anything, right? Be vigilant. Be aware. Okay? Don't hate your enemies as much as they hate you, for they don't know what they're doing, because they've already made a deal with whomever about whatever, and they are who they're going to be. But believe me, they know that they're wrong. Okay, so again, I got other stuff to do, y'all. This is your girl Chosen Monet. Have a good day.